We've got some insane beef between an NXT and an AEW star. We got an update on the WWE return of one Bill Goldberg, and new WWE signing is expected to be at Backlash. It's time for the news. Right, well, this is mental. This is an absolutely insane story to be kicking things off with. It all went down on X, formerly known as Twitter, last night, as AEW star Ricochet got into a bit of beef with NXT star Javon Evans. This all started when Ricochet, trolling a fan, doing Ricochet things, said that he would squash Javon Evans in a match. Evans quickly responded, bringing up his training under Shawn Michaels at the WWE Performance Center, saying,
He said, "My bad, I just got done training at the Performance Center under Shawn Michaels, something that you don't have or do, but I bet your brown egghead ass would squash me if Tony told you to."
Yeah, that's the way that wrestling works. The booker tells you who wins. Ricochet responded, saying, "Brother, I was learning from Shawn Michaels when you was like 12, then went on to become multiple-time champion. Let me know when you win one, little boy. And yeah, if Tony asked me, I'd definitely beat yo Aka. Also, by just simply mentioning my name, this is your most engaged with post. You're welcome for the exposure, kid." Crown emoji.
Crown emoji indeed. Evans then soon responded, mocking AEW's attendance wars and calling President Tony Khan, and I quote, "a crackhead," saying, "You learned from HBK when I was 12 and became a multiple-time champion. Now you're wrestling in front of 2,000 people every week for a crackhead. Talk about an upgrade, am I right? Sounds like Mr. Khan isn't giving you enough attention, so you had to come for a successful-ass young'un. You're giving me the most views on my post, and I'm finally helping you get the most attention you've ever had in your career. All love."
Ricochet acknowledged that 2,000 people remark with one final message on Twitter saying, "How many people does the PC hold? Bah! But keep up the energy. It makes you look cool." Evans has since deleted his tweets. So... Where do we even start? Where do we even start with this? Right, he's got rattled by Ricochet on Twitter.
Yep.
Ricochet, obviously he's lent into it with his character in recent months, but Ricochet is a man who himself has been numerous times easily rattled on Twitter. So to get rattled by Trev isn't the best look, in my opinion. I think, you know what, to give him credit, to give Javon credit here, Ricochet didn't really need to just go, "Oh yeah, I'd squash him" or anything.
No,
you could
exactly.
say that, hey, he was giving him exposure, but they're in different companies. There's no feud that can really be built there that's going to get paid off. So I think that's worth noting. What Javon has done there, I think, is incredibly foolish. Should he ever want to go to AEW, he's now called the owner a crackhead.
Yep.
That's not wise, and that probably won't work in his favor. But even if he does want to stay with WWE or go elsewhere, I think he's really damaged his negotiating power by doing this, because they now know that AEW would be unlikely to pick him up because of his comments. I mean, they're certainly libelous. I think there's a reason these have been deleted. What are your thoughts on this?
I definitely think, and I pretty much echo everything you've sort of said there. I think old Trevor didn't really need to do it, but that's Trevor's sort of character. He's quite notorious for going off on Twitter. And as for Javon, I feel like it's a little bit short-sighted. Again, he's quite early in his career. He's still quite young, and people make mistakes and stuff as well. But I feel like, yes, it depends how long he's in WWE for, too, because you don't really want to be burning bridges this early on in your career at the age that he's at as well. So I think it's a little bit silly.
It's wrestling. If something's best for business, we've seen it countless times in history that people will forgive people's and maybe Tony Khan, when he comes off the crack, will I'm joking. That's a joke. Will forgive Javon Evans. I think what this actually sort of reaffirms is the idea that people across all major wrestling promotions need a bit more media literacy, and they need some training in social media etiquette. With because this could end up being a legal thing. You can't just accuse people of that, true. Can you? As I've just done, jokingly. It was a joke. We'll keep you updated on that, but I don't think we're going to get a payoff. But hopefully we get a bit more beef, because I really enjoyed talking about that. From one bald man, Ricochet, to another, Bill Goldberg noted last year that he plans on retiring. He's got his retirement match coming up, and he said it was going to be in the summer of 2025. Lots and lots of people speculating, and the seeds were certainly sown that his final opponent could be one Gunther, who takes on Pat McAfee at Backlash tomorrow night. Pictures and predictions on the channel right now. In an update from WrestleVotes, multiple sources noting that Goldberg's name has started to be floated around internally within the company over the past week, saying...
They said, according to multiple sources, Goldberg's name has been floated internally within WWE over the past week. The first time since his Bad Blood appearance and his interactions with Gunther. Feels like the inevitable return is nearing.
So, there are two ways I think this could play out. If we do see him tomorrow night, does he get involved? And does he give Pat McAfee the win? Does he spear Gunther and allow Pat to pick up a cheeky dub? Yeah. And then Pat can hold it over Gunther? Or does it happen after the match? I'm praying after the match, although there is something, mostly because I predicted Gunther for this one, but there is something in giving Pat the win to really upset Gunther. I
think you were right. I think in the predictions as well, you said it gives it, I guess, some stakes as well, doesn't it? If sort of Pat has the win over Gunther, Goldberg's the one that's cost him, and then you build that feud from that leading up to SummerSlam, to a big old match. And I think that works out quite well, but at the same time, I don't want to see that. I don't know how many wrestling fans necessarily want to see that, apart from Ross. Ross might want to see that because he likes old Billy Goldberg.
I'm well up for the match. I think
for the match, yeah, for sure. But I get what I mean is I don't know if I want to see Goldberg cost Gunther this match with Pat McAfee.
If I hadn't predicted Goldberg, I think I would. Yeah. I think it adds a little bit more spice to that feud. I think that's really good. You got beaten by a commentator. It's just something to work with on promos. And you know what? I think that is the way it will probably play out. Speaking of Backlash, a new WWE signing is expected to be at the premium live event. We are talking about ex-New Japan star Jeff Cobb. He finished up with the company recently. Last match was on April the 19th. In an update on Cobb's debut from PW Insider, he is expected to start with the company soon. A lot of us expecting that, of course, with some expecting him to be at this weekend's Backlash premium live event. It isn't known whether or not he's going to appear on camera or if he's just going to be backstage shaking hands, introducing himself, but an interesting one, PWN reporting that Cobb is currently listed on the SmackDown roster internally.
Well then, where could he pop up? I think
SmackDown.
Perhaps, you bastard. I didn't mean that. I mean, whereabouts within the show could he pop up if he was to be on television? And I think maybe popping up after the United States Championship 4-way.
Ooh, you put him straight in the mid-card title picture.
Jeff Cobb and Jacob Fatu is quite tantalizing to the minds.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I hadn't even thought about where he might pop up. Yeah, I think if there's anywhere that I feel like they need to do something on this pay-per-view because honestly, I called it earlier. It's like an In Your House pay-per-view. I don't think the match card is all that at all. And you know what? Sometimes when that happens, you're pleasantly surprised on the night. But I do think we need a moment or two.
We must get one. I think we'll get one.
Bill Goldberg. Yeah. Bill Goldberg. Yeah. We finish with some scrapped plans for a recently released WWE superstar. Last Friday, big batch of superstars getting released across WWE's main roster and the NXT brand as well. One of those, Shotsy Blackheart, chatting away on Busted Open Radio, talking about the plans for her to feud with Chelsea Green upon returning to SmackDown before her release. She said,
I was told you're going to start a storyline with Chelsea Green, which I was all for. Chelsea is super great. They bring me into SmackDown. They're like rehearsing my entrance on the Tron, and then they cut it. And then it was like week after week, nothing and nothing. Then I started to wonder, like, my contract's up in a few months, what's going on? And nobody had answers for me. That's finally when I was like, I'm going to cut this promo. I'm going to get some answers by cutting this promo.
It's a shame. I would have quite liked to see that. I think that would have been a quite nice little feud.
It would have been a lot of fun. I think there's always been sort of excitement for when Shotsy does come back on TV after like a time away, and I think her presentation and everything that she had was brilliant, and also kind of like perfectly designed for WWE with the tank stuff and everything like that as well.
Couldn't agree more. Like the entrance, I agree. The presentation, yeah. I think she's really decent in the ring, but I said like after, because she was one of the releases that it was reported on later. It came out on the Saturday or the Sunday about her, and I just thought, like, yeah, she feels WWE. She was very unique. She's very unique in her presentation. She'll be fine, whatever she chooses to do next. That is it for your morning news. We will be back in a few hours with a little bit more wrestling news for you. Once again, pictures and predictions on the channel right now. Live streaming tomorrow night. Starting off with the pre-show, obviously, which I think is taking place at 11, but it's always impossible to tell. But do keep an eye on notifications and everything. You can set a reminder right now at youtube.com/cultaholic/live. We will see you in a little bit.